You might expect me to say that Marvel hates Spider-Man, but they don't. They love Spider-Man. It's just that the Spider-Man they love and the Spider-Man we love happen to not be the same. They love Spider-Man because he brings them money. We love Spider-Man because he struggles. He struggles to make both ends meet. When one part of his life wins, another loses. He has a good heart. He wants to help people. He gives his best, and yet sometimes he loses. But he never loses hope. He always gets back up. Back up to get beaten down by life. Back up to get spit on by the very people he wants to help. To hear his boss complain every single day. To live with the burden of not being there for the people he loves. But he doesn't lose hope. And in that, he gives us hope. Spider-Man may be the hero, but without Peter Parker, he's nothing. Peter Parker is the real hero. And no one at Marvel seems to get that. Yeah, I love Miles too, but this isn't about him. Alright, let's do this one more time. My name is Shripat Chandekar, a almost 23-year-old who fell in love with Spider-Man the very first moment he saw Toby climbing that wall as a kid. I saw the goof, the everyday loser, the wisecracking clumsy-ass Peter in me. I've loved Spider-Man from that moment and I've never looked back. So when Marvel character assassinates him, yeah, I'm gonna take it personally. I have very strong opinions on the MCU Spider-Man and how they've handled Tom Holland's version of the character. But then they announced the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series. I had a chance to do it all over again, a chance to do it better, to right the wrongs of the past, to give Spider-Man his soul back. And I wish I could tell you they did all these things, I really do. But I wouldn't be making this critique if that happened, would I? So, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series dropped a while ago, and it is riddled with problems. It's not part of the MCU, but for some reason, it still suffers from the same issues as the MCU. Every episode needs a cameo. Everything has to set up something else. Nothing can just exist for the sake of the episode. Peter doesn't feel like Peter. He doesn't feel like a character. He feels like a prop in his own series, just riding around various plot points to check a couple of boxes. This was supposed to be the origin of Tom Holland's Spider-Man and how he became Spider-Man. Somewhere along the production, they changed it to a different version. One that's not part of the MCU, which should have been a good thing, right? Something not tied down to an established idea, so you can do something original. Something that stays true to the character, even if you make changes. But sadly, none of that ever happened. I read somewhere that the changes they made in this show were meant to critique the MCU. Like, hey, let's show what happens if Spider-Man has a mentor, doesn't make his own tech, relies on a billionaire stepdad figure, skips Uncle Ben and downplays the weight of law. Basically every controversial choice they made in the MCU. But here's the thing, the way you critique something is by making something good. Not by making the same mistakes and then saying, see, this doesn't work. I can just go rewatch the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. That show critiques everything that's wrong with the modern day Spider-Man portrayals without ever having to tell you it's doing that. It just shows you what works. And that's the thing. Spectacular Spider-Man wasn't trying to prove a point. It wasn't trying to be anything else other than a great Spider-Man show. It understood Spider-Man. It understood Peter Parker. It understood what both of them stood for. It understood that when Peter Parker wins, Spider-Man loses. And more often than not, when Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker loses. And he pays the price of being Spider-Man, of being the guy under the mask, of being everyone's savior every damn time. He doesn't get rewarded with a new suit every time something happens to him. He doesn't get a billionaire backing him when something goes wrong. He doesn't have a guy in the chair always sitting at his beck and call. He doesn't have tech support. He's the guy who built his web shooters from scratch in his garage with basically broken equipment. He's someone who could rival the IQ of Reed Richards, and in the MCU, he's nothing more than a prop. And by extension, in this show, which I will be using to critique what's been wrong with Spider-Man for a long time. He is called the Iron Boy Jr. of the MCU. Spider-Man is a character much bigger than the MCU, much bigger than Iron Man. And I'm sorry if that offends someone, but it's true. Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character ever created. He's possibly the most popular comic book character ever created. And you're telling me he's been reduced to Iron Man Jr. What the hell? What have you done, Marvel? This doesn't work. Spider-Man is someone who never gives up, no matter what he faces, no matter the cost. He's inspired me, and I'm sure millions of others to do the same, to never give up in the face of adversity, to always get back up, to never accept defeat, to say, not done yet. Spider-Man embodies the whole line of "it ain't over till I'm standing," and you can be damn sure he'll be standing. And I'm not sure anyone at Marvel gets that. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man fails, not because it's different, but because it shares the same misunderstandings that's haunted modern Spider-Man storytelling, especially in the MCU. They want Spider-Man without Peter Parker. They want the costumes, the IPs, the cameos, the toy sales, but they don't want the cost that makes him beautiful. That cost is sacrifice, guilt, responsibility, identity. The whole concept of Spider-Man is, if Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker loses. And that's what connects him to people. When one part of your life wins, another part loses. If you do well in your job today, you might have sacrificed time with your family. If you went out with your friends tonight, maybe you didn't get to work on your passion project. These aren't small things. They resonate because they are real. And that's what Spider-Man makes them feel. He makes them feel seen, heard, less alone. And he tells us it's okay. Okay to lose sometimes. Okay to fail. Okay to try. It's okay to be kind. And it's okay to not be enough, but to keep trying anyway. Now, looking at this show in a vacuum, in the first episode, we find out that the spider that bit Peter was actually sent back in time in the last episode. So they have created the classic chicken and egg situation where Peter becomes Spider-Man because he already is Spider-Man. If that sounds familiar, that's because it is. Hint, bent and omniverse. They have used the same tired trope of the hero being the catalyst that creates the hero in the first place. It's a loop that's supposed to feel clever, but it just feels hollow here. And then there's the big twist they throw at us. Peter's dad is alive in this universe and he's in some jail for some undisclosed reason. Sound familiar again? Hint, CW's Flash. Just like Flash's father, Henry Allen, who's in jail for being accused of murdering his wife, we are seeing another rehashed dad in prison mystery plot, and it adds nothing meaningful to Peter's arc. It's just more borrowed drama, and I think that's as much credit as this show deserves. It doesn't need, or actually it doesn't earn any more than that. So, the point remains the same. Marvel loves Spider-Man, and so do we. But the difference is, they love the toys, the sales, the merchandise. We love the guy behind the mask. We love the struggling, mumbling, clumsy ass Peter Parker. They see cash in him. We see ourselves in him. They see an opportunity to make a quick buck. We see someone to look up to. Someone who inspires us to be better every day. Someone who keeps going, no matter how hard life goes. Someone who gives us hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope for a happier one. And even if nothing else, you know he's right there with you. Because that's just who he is. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.